Today's the day. The good, trusty rod rack is going away. It's been on here pretty much since we bought the boat. It's been a great rod rack. This rod rack is made by Monster Rod Holders. I'm sure you could probably see that there. Telly and I have decorated it with all these stickers. It's a shame to see it leave. But, oh, not that one, that one. We really hate to see it leave, but this is a 16-foot boat. There's not a lot of room in this boat. We need the back deck space. So, what we're going to do, we're going to remove this rod rack, and we're going to install MulTbars. But not in the way you're thinking. We're actually going to install them in this track system. First thing we got to do, get this rod rack off. All right, we got to remove all these. There's 4 bolts and nuts on each side of the boat. We got to remove them. These are T-bolts. So sometimes they want to spin inside that track. It could become a pain in the butt. So far, so good. You got to kind of pull and twist at the same time to get keep the bolt from spinning. One side is done. Yeah, so I got my T-bolts spinning around. I can't get my nuts to come loose, so I have to get something stick back in there, a small screwdriver to keep the T-bolt from spinning. Stay tuned. All right, all the nuts are off. The bolts are still in. I'm not going to be able to just lift this rack straight up because it has these brackets. So what I'm probably going to do is remove these, take the rod rack off. That'll leave the brackets behind, and we'll go from there. But it's coming off. All right, you can see this side is completely loose. It's just sitting there. So now we're going to do the other side. Okay, it's ready to remove. All the bolts are gone. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to call my son, have him help me lift this off. I just noticed something. That's an issue. I've got to remove that too. Hey, come out here and help me lift this rod rack off. All right, bye. Okay, now set it down over there. Okay, so when you order your these are the MulTbar Lites. Everything's still packaged up except for the bolts and the installation hardware right here in this bag. That's what it came with. Came with more T-bolts, which are the same T-bolts I just took out. But we're gonna go ahead and use the new ones. Let's get these. It's gonna be 4 on each side. And then this right here is our bracket. And it is going to fit in our track system so we can move it wherever we want. It's all boogered up right there where we had the old rod rack on, but I'm probably going to have it back in here somewhere. Probably back there. We'll figure it out. Let's get these bolts installed and get this tightened on. These are the T-bolts that it came with. Just gotta, whoops, not drop them. Pop them in there, slide it down out of our way. There's our 4 bolts. Now we have to get them in about the position we're going to need them. Something like that. So that's in there. Let's see, it looks like it came with flat washers. So we're going to put those on. move that drill out of your way. I was actually going to drill an access point into this track system, and I was going to use carriage bolts. I was going to use these carriage bolts. The problem is the rotary file that I bought is not that big, so we're going to go with the T-bolts. It's what was sent with the MulTbars, so we're going to use them. I'm going to put these lock washers on. I think we've got enough thread sticking out that I can get these on. If not, I do have some lock nuts. I would just like to make sure that once we tighten these things down, they stay tight. So either we're going to use these lock washers or we're going to use the lock nuts. Worst case scenario, we'll use the nuts that came with the MulTbars, which are not lock nuts. Anyway, here we go. All right, that's on there. Let's move to the other side. So I just noticed on the back side of these plates where the track goes in, it has these grooves. If I can do this with one hand, when you put your T-bolt in, if it's sitting on top of that groove, there's not much thread left. But if you turn it, it fits right into that groove, and that T-bolt cannot spin. I really like that. Once those are locked down, they should not go anywhere. All right, now that our plates are installed, this is what I'm going to call the riser. It's also the part that's got a block on each end that allows it to swivel back and forth. So I was a little bit confused. On a normal set of MulTbars, these ends right here that have the radius, on a normal set that doesn't go in the track, I'm assuming has it's not completely rounded. It's not a half radius. It actually has a flat end so that it prevents you from tilting it too far. This is how awesome this company is. In the instructions, Colton, the owner, his number's on the instructions. I was able to call him and relieve my worry that maybe these were manufactured wrong. They're not. This is exactly how they're supposed to be. He explained it to me. This block right here that has a set screw goes towards the bottom of the boat and towards the outside of the boat, so that when you're looking at it, it actually reads correctly. Genius. That's all I got to say. So we're going to install this now. We're going to get this side installed. We'll go to the other side and install it. We're going to get it somewhat where we think we're going to want it, and then we'll put the top on that actually holds the rod holders. So let's get this done. This big bolt goes right through there. There's a hole in this that's already tapped. We're going to get it started. We're going to get it there started. I'm just going to let this rest. I'm going to go do the other side. All right, I've got this block. I mean, it's tight. It's not as tight as it needs to be. I need to be able to move this thing around a little bit, decide how I want to mount them. I might need to twist it. I might need to do a lot of different things, but I've got to get the top on and then move it around different positions, decide where I want it. So right now, we're going to put the top on. This is the top of the MulTbar. On the bottom, it's got a place for accessories. I'm assuming this is the top because I can see the set screw, and if you wanted to be able to adjust it, it's right there. The set screw, once you tighten everything down, the set screw is just another way to make sure it's secure. We will probably be using those. You want to make sure those things are really tight. If you get out there and you're dragging baits and get snagged, you don't want your rod rack moving. So we will definitely be using the set screws. So let's get this top installed. Our bolt is going to come up through the bottom because this bar is threaded. It's just hand tight. I'm going to go do the other side. All right, other than putting the actual rod holders on the rack, making sure everything's level, getting them exactly where I want them, which may take a few fishing trips of moving them around and figuring out what exactly we want, they're installed. There's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts on each side. And that's it. This is super easy. They're going to look great once the rod holders are on them. It's opened up the back of this boat a ton. We can actually have room now to get up here and move around. I know they're not level yet. I haven't got out of level. I haven't done all that. They're just snug. Right now, I just wanted to get them installed, play around with them, see what different options we have for putting, you know, different positions for the rods. But I mean, and they're going to be rock solid. I mean, rock solid. I just barely snugged them, and they're not moving. So, Colton, if you watch this, bravo, man. All right, it's done. That really opened up the back of this boat quite a bit. You can see the old rod rack used to run across right here where my hand is. It didn't give us a way to stand up here on the back deck. Everything's tight, locked down with the set screws. Whether or not that's going to be the final place, who knows. We're going to have to get out and fish with it, try it out. I'm sure we'll be moving it around. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you on the next one.